Okay, so today we are going to discuss about LODs part 3. So in detail, we are going to know about fixed LOD and include exclude. So these are the main three scoping keywords which we have in LODs. So today I will show you about fixed LOD. So this is a syntax to write the fixed LOD calculation. So the basic definition of fixed LOD is what we discussed like yesterday or in the previous session. So it computes a value using the specified dimension without reference to the dimensions in the view. So whatever dimensions that are there in the view LOD, so it will not consider those dimensions in the view. It will only compute it based on the specified dimension that we mention in the calculation. Let's say if you are mentioning only region, so it will do the computation based on only region. So it will not consider whatever dimensions that are there. So now let's see. So I'll just take region and state into the worksheet and let's see how we can create that. So I'm just taking this region column and putting in a rows shelf and take state column. Okay, so these are my region, and in that particular region, what are the states? I can see it here. And if I take normal states, so in central region, Illinois has $18,166 of sales. But I want to fix it only based on the region. So I'll create a calculation field where I will write fixed region and sum of sales and close the curly bracket. So region wise sales. Okay. Okay. Is it visible now? Okay. Okay, so now I'm writing a simple calculation where I'm including or when I'm just fixing it based on the region. Just a second, my cursor is not working. Yeah. So I'm just trying to fix it based on the sum of sales with the region. So I'm just write this. Okay, so I'm just taking region wise sales. So now I'll just show you in the next sheet. So I'll take only region. I'll take only sum of sales. So these are my region level sum of sales values. And in the sheet 1, I can see the region and state level value. So let's say sheet 2, in sheet 2 in central, I have $503,171. That means some 5 lakhs amount is there. So that 5 lakhs is getting distributed to this 14 states. In the same way, East has $691,828. That 691,828 is splitting into these many states. So it is splitting for 20 states, and each and every state has a different value. Okay, so that is how I can see by state. But I have written a calculation where I just want to see the sum of sales only based on region. Even if I have state column, I want to see region values on the side. So I'll just put it here, or I'll just double click on this. Okay, so this is basically the region wise sales, and this is normal sales. So you can see that 503,171 is getting repeated. So I'm just fixing. I'm telling Tableau that not to consider any LODs or any dimensions which are there in the view. Just consider whatever that is mentioned in the fixed calculation. So as per LOD thing, so it will not consider anything which is there in the view LOD. So in view LOD, we have two dimensions, which is region and state. And here I have mentioned fixed region. So it will fix the level of detail to the level of region only. So if you keep on adding any dimensions into the view, let's say I want one more level, which is city. So the number will get splitted. The normal sales will get splitted. So Illinois has some amount 18,166. So if you go deep into that cities, so that 18,166 will get splitted. Okay, so you can see that. But the region-wise sales is not getting changed. Why? Because I have already fixed it to the level of region. So this will not change. Okay, so that is the logic for LOD calculations. So it will not consider the view LOD and it will create the calculations, or it will do the computation only based on the dimension which is mentioned in the LOD calculation. This is about fixed. So what value it is showing? So why is it repeating the same value? So it is actually the value of the central region. The value of the central region, it will keep on repeating for each and every row, so that you can compare what is the actual value for central and what is the sum of sales for individual cities. In that way, you can compare the region details and all. Let's say if I also mention edit, if I also mention comma state, now I will be able to see state level values. So this is my, excuse me. So this is my state value, which is 80,166. That 80,166 is getting splitted to all these cities. You can see that's total on your left side. So it has 33 cities in Illinois. So that $80,166 is splitting across those 33 cities. So that is about fixed LOD. Now let's talk about include LOD. So let's take region. So I'm just taking region and I'll take sales. And I'll make a bar chart and show the numbers on top of the bar chart. And put in the color. Okay, so each and every region is colored with a different color. And I'm showing the numbers. So this is basically the sum of sales. So instead of sum of sales, I want to do an average. So before doing that, I'll just take the data, take this data, include LOD explanation. Save this. So I'm just opening this file. I include LOD explanation. So, okay, so this is my sales. And this is my, where is region? Yeah, here I have region. Okay. So, Rakib, can you tell me how can I calculate the sum of sales of central region? Yeah. So I just, yeah, I need to select central. I should take the sum of sales. which is $503,170. Okay, so how can I calculate average of this? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so you can see 503,000 and count also you can see in the side, which is 2336. So basically it should do 503,177 or 170 divided by 2336, which is the count of rows, the number of rows which are there. So it is 215. So Tableau is also will also calculate. So if you do an average here, which is coming as $215. So that is the average amount. But how I am comparing? I'm comparing with all the rows. Okay, so but I want to take the average based on, let's say, subcategory. So in central, I'll just take I'll just create one more sheet. I'll put region. I'll put region. And I will also put state or subcategory, let's say. Subcategory. Let's take state only. So states I have these many. And I will also take sales. Okay, so this is my data, which is there. So now, let's say now I want to take the average. So now I want to take the average based on central. So how can I calculate? Prashant, can you tell me how can I calculate the average for central? Okay, so this is my sum of sales, 503,000, and divide it with. Okay, so how many number of rows are there? You can see the count here. I have selected 14 of 59 marks. So it is 14 to your left bottom. Okay, so I have selected 14 marks. So it is basically sum of this divided by 14. How many number of states that are there in central? Okay, so this I'm able to do. So I'm just able to see this total, but I can tell you that this is the aggregation. So I need to take sum of sales, but I need to take the division as this 14 states, 14 number of states which are there. But how can I do that here? So I'm able, when I do average sales, it is basically going and checking all the rows. To do that in Tableau, so we need to tell, or we need to use LOD calculation. And by using LOD calculation, we can mention state in the calculation. And we can mention state in the calculation and do the average based on the state. So now let's see how we can do it based on that. So region I'm taking, sales I'm taking. This is average, let's say normal average. And now I will include state. Now I will include state and sum of sales. Okay, so now what it will do is, so if you do sum of sales, it will be same. Let's say calculation one. Let me rename this. This is include LOD calc. So this is what I see. And before doing sum of sales, okay, both the numbers will look alike. Why? Because I'm just doing the sum. But when I do an average, you can see the difference. So this is calculating the denominator is number of rows. So we have seen it here. So the denominator is this one, which is 2336 for central. And when I try to do for average for this include, okay, now it is different, 35,941. So the denominator is different. The sum of sales is same for both, but the denominator, so here I have included state, which is not there in the view LOD. So here I have included state. That means for central region, how many number of states that are available? So the only that number will be divided. In the same way for east also. So it will do sum of 691,828, 691,828 divided by what is the number? Yeah, it's 20. So $34,591 is the average for east. You can see that here. So this way, without keeping state in the rows or column shelf or in the marks card. So here I'm not using anywhere. I'm not using state column or state dimension. I'm not using it. So without using state dimension, I'm able to do average based on state. So that is because of include LOD. So here I have included state, which is not there in the view LOD. And based on that, I'm able to calculate this type of average. And here also we have an option to show totals. So column grand totals. Go to analysis, go add all subtotals. You will see the each and every sum of sales. So this total will be shown here. And we go to analysis, go to totals. First you need to say show column grand totals. After that you need to say add all subtotals. Then you can see like this. So let me do it again. So I'll just remove everything. Okay, so first of all, it will show like this. So nothing, you can't see any total. So when I go here, totals, when I say show column grand totals, so below you can see the grand total. So grand total is nothing but sum of all these values, which is 23,26,534. And when you go to analysis, go to totals and say add all subtotals. For each and every region, it will create a subtotal. So let's click on that, add all subtotals. So you can see for that particular region, what is the sum of a total. So it is basically the sum of all these values. So that way we can show the totals there. And we can also do total using average as well. Okay, so this is basically doing average. So sum of this value divided by number of rows, which is, so let me just do it, which is 503,171, 171 divided by how many number of states are there? 14. So which will be 35,940. Okay, so in this particular chart, I'm able to do it because I have state dimension here. Okay, I'm able to show. But if I remove this state, so if I remove that state, I can't see the average. Okay, so to do the average without having the state, so we can use LOD calculation and do the average. Yeah, Rakib. Mhm. Hmm. Yes, correct. So mostly include calculation, we use it for calculating averages. So that is about include LOD. Now let's talk about exclude. So as we all know, like include LOD compute values using the specified dimensions in addition to whatever dimensions are in the view. Okay. So earlier fixed LOD is it will compute only based on the dimensions which are present in the fixed LOD calculation. But in include LOD, it will use the existing dimensions and also it will include which is not there in the view level of detail as well. So include LOD compute values using the specified dimension in addition to whatever dimensions are in the view. So if you see in our example, okay, so it is taking the region into consideration, but it also gives us the value of, I mean, based on the state also, it is giving us the average. So it is still taking the sum of sales from the central region. So it will consider the view LOD and also the LOD that is mentioned in the calculation. And if you go to fixed LOD, so whatever dimensions are there, let's say state is there, city is there. If I are fixing only at region level, it will not consider the other dimensions in the view. But in case of include LOD, it will consider the existing dimension, but it will include which is not there in the dimension as well. In addition to that, it will include the other dimension. The syntax is same. So include, you can keep on mentioning the dimensions. You can put some comma and you can write any number of dimensions that you want to mention. And here this has to be an aggregation. It can be sum, min, max, count, distinct or count. And this can be a measure or this can be a dimension, depending on the requirement. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we'll see about exclude level of expression. And so this exclude is, will omit the declared dimensions from the view. So it will remove whatever, or it will not consider those dimensions which are mentioned in the exclude LOD calculation. Okay, so now let's see. The syntax is same. So for all the three scoping keywords, include, exclude, and fixed. So the syntax is same for all the three scoping keywords. Now we'll see how to create this exclude LOD. Let's take region, sales, and I'll also take state. Okay, so I'll write a calculation, exclude, and I will write some of, okay, state and sum of sales. Okay, so by using this, so we can eliminate the dimensions which are present in the view LOD. So what is the view LOD here, Prashant? What is the view LOD? Rakib, can you try? Yeah, perfect. So basically this is called as view. So whatever work that we are doing, so we'll call this as view. And in this particular view, I'm using two dimensions, which are region and state. So that will become my view LOD. So how many, let's say if I'm using 10 dimensions, so when I ask like what are the view LODs, so those 10 dimensions will be your view LODs. That means by using those dimensions, your view will change. So let's say if I add one more dimension, city, my view is changed. I mean, the way I look the data. So earlier it was only region and state. Now it also has city. So the view is getting changed. If something is changed in the view, so that means that will be my level of detail. So why it is changing? As I have 4 dimensions, that's why I'm able to see the difference in view. So that is about view LOD. And let's say, so let's see only these 2 examples. So region and state I have, and I'm trying to exclude state. So this is my exclude LOD calculation. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to exclude the LOD, I mean this particular state. So what happens? So let's try in the view LOD first. So if I remove this, so the values are 503, 171, 691, like this. Let's remember this central value, $503,171. And I'll put this state. And what happens if I use this exclude LOD calculation? Okay, so I'm by using this LOD calculation, I'm trying to remove this state. So in the computation, I have removed state from the computation. So what it is doing, it is showing you the central value. So if you remove state, what happens? It will be central value. So exclude LOD is not considering states. Why? Because I have excluded here. Okay, if I mention the dimensions which are there in the sheet, so it will not consider these dimensions. So if I also mention region, okay, so now it will show the total value, which is $23,26,534. It is a total of all the regions. So now what it means is it is not considering region and state. And I will also show you what is the exact sales value. 23,26,534. That means it is not considering the region and state. Why? Because I have mentioned here to exclude these 2 dimensions. And I will also put other columns. If I put city, city wise, it is distributing the sum of sales. Why? Because I have not mentioned city here. And if I go postal code, it will show for postal code as well. That is how it works. And in earlier, when we discussed about fixed LOD, so we have done only for central level. So how many number of dimensions that you keep on putting, so it is not considering the other dimensions. It is just showing you only for the region level. So sheet 7, this one. Hmm. Yeah, city. Yeah, you mean these numbers are same. Hmm. Yeah, it will show. It will match. Why? Because for city value, whatever value is there, that will be same, right? So it is not dividing. It is not splitting that value. So it is just not considering these 2 dimensions. Region and state, it is not considering. It will consider the city and postal code. Why? Because I have not mentioned any thing in the calculation. So that's how I'm doing. Yeah. So this is how we can do. And now let me show you in bar chart. So let's take the example which is there in this. So let's take region. And order date. and take the month, and let's take sales. Okay, so these are my sales values. So for each and every month, what is the central value, what is the east value, all those things. So if I do an exclude of region, sum of sales. Exclude region. Say okay. Instead of sales, I will write exclude region. Okay, now you can see every month has the same value. 59,751, 59,751. So it is not considering the state, I mean the region. So that is how you see this one. And now let's see. Now let's try excluding order date instead of region. Instead of region, I will exclude order date. So I'm just dragging and dropping over there and say apply. Okay. So now it is not considering the months. For every month, it is showing the same value. It is the central value which is getting repeated. So this way, you can exclude order date and you can exclude region. So when you exclude region, for every month, you can see the same value. If you exclude uh, order date, you can see central values in the each and every month. So that is how we can exclude and include. And we can also do some of the similar type of calculations. Let's say state and region and sales, and I will also take city. Here I want to see region wise sales also. So region wise. Okay, so what is the syntax for that? Rakib, I want to see region wise sales. Okay, Prashant, can you tell me what is the view LOD in this particular view? City. Yeah. So all these three dimensions are view LODs. Okay, so now if I want to create region-wise sales, I have to fix it to the level of region. Okay, so I can see, double click on there. So I can see for region, it is $503,171. So you can see that is getting repeated. Till where the central region is there, till there it will show you $503,171. And whenever this east region starts, now it will start showing the east total. So that is how you can see the total of that particular region. And to the next, you can see this city level information, city, state, and region level information. Okay, so this is we have achieved based on based on fixed LOD. So let me write it as fixed. Okay. So this I have achieved it based on fixed LOD. Now I'll try to do the same thing using exclude LOD. So I'm trying to do using exclude LOD. Okay, so to do by using exclude LOD, what I can do? What dimensions I need to exclude to get the region level sales? Yeah, so if I exclude state and city, I should be able to see region level information. Sum of sales. So this is region wise sales using exclude function. So this will also give me the same output. So here what I'm doing, I'm just excluding these two dimensions so that I can see the region value. And by using fixed LOD, I'm just fixing it based on the region. Okay, so now here I will show you the difference between these two. So, okay, so this is using exclude and this is using fixed. So both the outputs are same. But what happens if I include one more dimension? So what happens in case of fixed? What will happen? Any guesses? What happens when I add a postal code here for exclude? Yeah. Why? Because it will show the values based on postal code. Why? Because we are just excluding state and city, and we are not excluding uh, postal code. So that way it will show the computation based on postal code. Yeah. So that way this exclude is getting changed, and the region we have fixed it. So you can keep on adding any number of dimensions. This value will never change. Why? Because this is a fixed LOD where it will not change based on the dimensions that you add. In exclude, we are just excluding state and city. And earlier it was showing only till the region. But if you add more columns or more dimensions into that, so it will do the computation for those particular dimensions. So that is about exclude and fixed. So I'll just show you the comparison. So if we go here, so instead of this, I'll take sales. Okay, so this is basically I'm able to see region-wise values, region-wise all values I can see, but I also want to see in an overall. In an overall, I want to see what is the which one is better, in which month I have better values. So I will write a calculation or just write a exclude LOD calculation where I will exclude region, sum of sales. Okay, so here I'm excluding region and I'll put it in the color region. So this is basically order date wise sales. Order date wise sales. I'll put this in the color. Okay, so here what I'm showing here is, so I'm just excluding the region. So in December, if you do a total of all these 4 months, So it is basically 13,20,873. So I'll just do it in the other sheet. So this is my sheet 8. And here I will take month of order date. Okay, and I'll show sales. And I'll sort it. Okay, so here I'm just seeing in November, it has the more value, 352,666. In December, I have the second highest. In September is the third highest. And if I go to this sheet 8, so I can see for central, what are my values, for east, what are my values, and for south, what are my values, and west, what are my values. But I also want to see if I remove region, from this, I want to see in which month I have the more sales. So that I can see only if I remove the region. So if I remove the region, so here I have month of order date and I can see the values. So in November I have highest values. So basically in November I have. But with this visualization, I'm able to see what is the values in central and that particular month. And I also can visualize by seeing the intensity of the color. So November, December, September has the highest values. November, December, September has the highest values. So that is the reason these are colored in uh, high intensity colors. So, so this is to visualize. So I'm just excluding this region so that I can see in which month I have the more values. Yeah, Rakib. Can you repeat that question? Hmm. 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 Yeah. Which distribution? This region and month wala. Oh, okay. So let me just do a duplicate of this one. So let me remove this. Okay, so these are your actual values. Yes, these are your region level values. And if I add month of order date, so 503,000 will be splitted for month of order date. Month of order date. Okay, so that 503,000 is getting splitted. Okay, so that's what we are showing here. Okay, so that 503,000 is getting splitted across these 12 months. Okay, and for east also like that. Whatever is the total is getting splitted. Whatever is the total is splitting splitted. But here what I'm trying to do is if I remove region, okay, if I remove region, so I can see the total of December. So December has a value $330,000. So that is getting splitted. So even if I have this region, I want to consider, I want to see in which month I have the highest value. So that's why I'm excluding the region in this calculation. Where is this order date wise? Yeah. So here I'm excluding this region. Yeah, so that's about today's session. So with that, we have completed LODs in 3 parts. So any questions regarding LOD calculations, scoping keywords? Okay. Okay, then we'll continue tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you for joining.